Hello. All right, we're gonna start practice. I'm going to start standing today. So you can stand in Tadasana. So let's just go over Tadasana. That is that anatomically correct standing position, active standing position. So with the feet hip width distance apart, lift the toes. We're gonna plant one toe at a time. So starting with the pinky toes, the ring finger toes, middle toes, pointer toe, and last the big toe. So planting all of the toes one at a time, grounding into the mat, grounding into the earth, planting all four corners of the feet into the mat. Lift the kneecaps, engage the quadriceps, tuck the tailbone in, roll the shoulders down and back, biceps facing forward, and grow the crown of the head up towards the ceiling for Tadasana. So standing posture. This is the, start preparatory pose, foundation pose for all standing poses. Making sure we are active, rooted, the body is growing, elongating, spine engaged, core engaged. So Tadasana pose. And we're just gonna start by warming up the spine in our standing postures. So inhale, circle, sweep the arms up. Oh, I'm hitting my plants. And arms up, look up, reach up. So the spine, you can see, is the back is just arching ever so slightly just by reaching up and looking up. So just a slight little back bend here. Then breathe and stretch and reach. And then we're gonna place the hands together. Hands come down through heart center and forward fold. So just hang. You can actually keep your hands at your thighs or your knees. And just let the head hang heavy. So wherever you can go, hands can be at shins. Just see if you can slide down a little deeper. You can grab opposite elbows. You can keep your knees bent, or if you do straighten your legs, do lift your kneecaps and engage the quadriceps to protect the knees. And just hang heavy in forward fold. Take a few deep breaths in forward fold. So head below heart in forward fold. Helps calm the nervous system. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system. So it gets us out of fight or flight. Really calms the body, calms the brain. So just hang in forward fold for a couple more breaths. Smooth inhale and smooth exhale. And release your arms and slowly roll up, knees bent, legs bent. Roll up one vertebrae at a time. Head and arms, head lifts last, and arms just slowly go back to the side. So we did a little bit of a back bend, forward fold, and that can be as simple as this. So forward fold can be just slightly bending over, knees bent, and let the head hang. And then you can go a little deeper. The hands can slide down, the knees, shins, and then all the way forward fold if you can. And that really helps. It's relaxing, it's calming. Also just elongating the spine a little bit. All right. Next, we're just gonna have the arms out to a T, and left arm comes forward, right arm goes back. Just a little bit of a twist, really gentle twist here. and look past your right fingertips. So left arm forward, right arm back. Look past those right fingertips. And breathe, smooth breaths in and out. And back to center, take it to the other side. So right fingertips forward, left fingertips back. So gentle twist here. Take our gaze towards the back, past the left fingertips. So a little twist in the spine, just very gentle twist. And take a smooth breath in, smooth breath out. And back to center. Drop the arms and shake out the arms a little bit. All right, we're gonna do our side stretches now. So we did a little spinal warm up, back and forward, twisting. Now we're gonna do our side stretches. So revisit the Tadasana feet. So lift the toes. Feet are hip width distance apart. And then lift the toes. Plant one toe at a time. So pinky toe, ring finger toe, middle toe, pointer toe, and last the big toe. Really feel those toes planted into your mat, and the four corners of the feet are really firmly gripped into the mat. Lift the kneecaps, engage the quadriceps, tuck the tailbone in. So there's that tendency to have quite an arch in the back, and so tuck that tailbone in, roll the shoulders down and back, biceps facing forward. And you can just see when I prompt these things, how the little adjustments make a difference. So just by tucking the tailbone in, you can see that does help tighten up the core, activate the core, and now grow the crown of the head up to the ceiling. I like to imagine a string on the top of my head, pulling my top of my crown up towards the ceiling. So in Tadasana, you can just see how that growing the crown makes a difference. Helps lengthen the neck, the spine. So in Tadasana here. I'm gonna plant the left hand to the left thigh and sweep that right arm overhead, palm facing down. And make sure we're not folding the arm forward or folding it back. The arm needs to be in alignment with the torso here. So even if you start here, and this is as far as you can go, and try not to scrunch the shoulder up into the neck, into the ear. So making sure the shoulder is dropped first. The arm is just raising. So not like lifting the arm by scrunching, just folding that arm over by bending into the side body. And so you can slide this left hand down the left thigh and bend and stretch into the right side body a little deeper by sliding the arm down. And look up past your right bicep. So feel a nice side stretch in the right side body. Breathe into these right ribs. This hip can bump out a little bit to curve the right side body. So this is standing Ardha Chandrasana, standing half moon. So you can see how this is making a semicircle, half moon shape with the right side body. Again, keeping that arm in alignment with the torso. And breathing, feeling the expansion in the right ribs. Feel a nice stretch in the right side body. And back to center. We're going to take it to the other side. So revisit Tadasana, replant those toes, the feet, lift the kneecaps, tuck the tailbone in, roll the shoulders down and back. Plant this right hand on the right thigh. So we're going to slide down this right side body now, down the right leg. Sweep the left arm overhead And again, without scrunching at the shoulder, drop that shoulder down and just lift through the fingertips first. So lift those fingertips up towards the ceiling, palm facing to the right. You can see palm facing to the right. And then just gradually, without lifting that shoulder and the scrunching in the neck, just slide the right hand down the right leg a little bit and bend the left fingertips over to the right. And you can keep sliding, just see where you can go. This is where it's important to use those leg muscles too. So not, collapsing and putting pressure on the knees. Lift through those kneecaps, engaging the leg muscles to then deepen into this. Look past your left bicep and just slide a little bit deeper. You can bump that left hip over a little. Breathe into the left side body. Feel expansion in the left ribs. Smooth breaths in and out. And back to center. And I want to teach a quick breathwork technique real quick. So I'm just gonna take a seat. You can sit on your, I'm gonna grab a pillow. So you can sit on a bolster or a pillow or, any comfortable seated position. You can just take a seat on your mat in Sukhasana. Just make sure I can get close enough here that you can see me. All right, so I'm gonna go over a quick pranayama technique. It is June 1st today, and I'm recording this. And so not a super hot day today, a little rainy, but moving into summer months, this is a really wonderful pranayama technique to use throughout summer. If you're feeling a little overheated, if you are feeling, just even our energy, like if our energy is a little bit hot and bothered and heated and just, anger, or if we just want to calm and cool ourselves, this is a really wonderful breathwork technique to use just to calm and to cool. So, and it does feel cold and has that energetic quality and actual physical quality of feeling cold. So I'll demonstrate the two ways to do this. There is a modification if you can't curl your tongue. So see if you can curl your tongue first. So you're gonna stick out your tongue and then curl it. So if you can make that straw shape with your tongue. And I know some of these breathwork techniques, these pranayama techniques can be a little bit silly. So just go ahead and, stick out your tongue, be silly, play with it, and see if you can curl your tongue, make a straw. And breathe into the straw of your tongue. And you can feel how cold it is on your tongue. You can feel how cold it is in your throat. And it just brings that cold air, cold energy into your body and cools you down. And if you can't curl your tongue, you're gonna breathe through your teeth. And when you do this too, you can feel how cold air is hitting your teeth. And it actually feels like a very cold sensation on your teeth, in your mouth, and even in your throat as well. So if you can't curl your tongue, just take your teeth and breathe in. Or use your tongue. Take a few rounds of this at your own breath cycle, just really slowing it down too. No need to rush and breathe super fast. Just take a slow, smooth inhalation through the teeth or your tongue, and slow exhale and breathe out of your mouth or your nose. Breathing out of your nose will slow the exhale down a little bit, so that is nice. I know sometimes it's hard if you're stuffy. Just really try to take some slow, smooth, intentional breaths in and then out. Awesome. So really good pranayama technique to use anytime you're feeling warm, overheated, just if you want to cool down and slow down the breath, slow down our busyness, and then cool ourselves down. So really good for all of those things: calming of the mind, the nervous system, cooling of the energy and the self. All right, so let's go ahead and move a little bit. I'm just gonna start on my knees here. And so you can take a pillow or a blanket for your knees if you want to cushion the knees a little bit. And we're gonna step or walk that right foot forward. Let's actually not do this on our knees entirely. Let's go ahead and stand up and just start standing. So instead of transitioning with down dog or on the knees, let's just start standing. It's gonna be a little bit easier on the knees here. So from standing position, go ahead and walk that front right foot forward and step that left foot back a little bit. Back left foot. These mats are so nice too. With the alignment and the lines here, you can see my back left foot is lined up on this back line, and then the front foot is in a separate lane here. I'm just walking it forward a little bit, bending into the right knee. This knee is working towards a 90-degree angle, and then opening up the right hand forward and left arm swinging back behind. So the arms are out to a T with the right fingertips forward and the left fingertips back. So this is Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2 pose. And traditionally the ankles, the heels are in heel to heel alignment. So you can see how my front leg is in alignment with the back leg, but it is challenging for the balance. So you can take a little bit of a wider stance and bend into that front right knee. So this is Warrior 2 pose, Virabhadrasana 2. And I'll show you from the side what this looks like. So again, that front right leg, those toes are pointing forward, bending into that right knee, about a 90 degree, working towards 90 degree. This back foot can be pretty deep here, so this can get into like a deeper angle. It's gonna be a little easier, more narrow. This foot is at about a 30-degree angle, and then the arms come out to a T. So shoulders stacked over hips. There is a whoop! I'm poking my plants. There's a tendency to reach forward in this pose, so we're gonna make sure the shoulders are stacked over the hips. So Warrior 2 pose here. Just feel planted and strong in Warrior 2. And our gaze, our drishti goes over our right fingertips. So looking forward over those front right fingertips for Warrior 2 pose. Take the back left hand, place it on the back left leg, and reach that right arm up and back, palm facing down. Breathing into the right side body. And looking up towards the ceiling, feeling a nice stretch in the right side body, the right shoulder, strengthening the legs here. All right, and moving into let's do extended side angle. So from here, you can place the right elbow on the right knee. You can also float that arm inside the leg here. It's a little easier just to rest it. And then we're gonna reach the left arm overhead and get my whole body in the picture here. So from Warrior Two here, let me just set this up again. So we're in this bent leg, bent knee. Place the right elbow on the right knee and sweep that arm overhead. So you can see from my left toes, my left heel, my left leg, left side body, out through my arm is one straight line. You can even deepen into this. So an extended side angle. And for a challenge, you can float this arm inside the right shin and look up towards the ceiling. And then go ahead and just sweep up, back into Warrior Two. Pivot those toes forward. And pivot the feet all the way in. And we'll take it to the other side. So step the left foot forward, right foot back, and you can use the lines on the mat if you have the same kind of mat. You can use these really helpful lines to kind of indicate where the feet should go for proper alignment. So front left toes are facing forward. The back right toes are at about 30-degree angle pointing out. Bending into the front left leg. Left fingertips reaching forward, right fingertips reaching back. So Warrior Two pose here, Virabhadrasana 2. And I'm gonna turn so you can see my body here. So the right toes, that slight angle, left toes forward, bending into this front left leg about 90 degrees. Back right leg is straight and strong. That foot is carving into the floor, planted. Shoulder, see there's a tendency to lean forward. So restack those shoulders over the hips. Drop the shoulders down, shoulders over hips, and then lift the arms up, out to a T. Take your gaze past your left fingertips. So look forward past your left fingertips. This is Warrior Two pose, Virabhadrasana 2. And breathe. Feel planted and strong. Legs are engaged. Arms are engaged. And really just envision someone pulling on your fingertips in opposite directions. So really stretching and reaching those fingertips. Someone is pulling your hands, your arms in opposite direction, really reaching those fingertips. Plant the right hand on the back right leg. Sweep the left arm up and over, palm facing down for Peaceful Warrior. So bending into that front left leg. You can keep it very unbent. You can keep it more straight if it feels better on the knees. Definitely bending into it is going to work these leg muscles a little bit more. And then gently take your gaze up towards the ceiling for Peaceful Warrior. Breathing into the left side body, feeling a nice stretch in the left side body, in the shoulder. And back to Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana 2. So we're gonna plant that left elbow on the left knee, moving into extended side angle here. So you can keep this elbow resting on the left knee, taking that right arm, reaching up overhead. One long line of energy from the heel, the right leg, right side body, and shooting out the right fingertips. You can also float that arm inside the shin, Take your gaze up towards the ceiling. And breathe. And sweep the arm down, lift up, toe heel that left foot in, and just gently walk those feet back in to Tadasana. All right, let's take so those are warrior poses. So usually in yoga, we start with warming up the spine, breath work, warrior series. So there's 3 warrior poses. So we did Virabhadrasana 2 in different modifications of that with Warrior 2, Peaceful Warrior. Now we're going to do some standing posture, standing asana. So we'll go over tree pose, such a foundational pose. Let's visit Tadasana. So spreading those toes, lift the toes, plant one toe at a time. Big toe plants last. All 4 corners of the feet are planted into the mat. And lift the kneecaps, engage the leg muscles, tuck the tailbone in, roll the shoulders down and back, biceps facing forward, lift the crown of the head up to the ceiling, bend the right knee, and open up that right knee to the right, so to the outer edge of the mat, to the right. So external rotation of this right hip. So you can stay here in kickstand tree. You can prop that heel up against the left leg. You can also use a block here and place the right foot on a block to lift it up a little bit more. You can plant that right foot on the calf muscle. Let's place our hands at heart center to center ourselves and find our balance. Focus your gaze, your drishti, on something still, something not moving, and just open up that hip. So take the right knee and just push it back a little bit, opening up through the hip, focusing on balance, and breathe. And rotate that right knee back forward, gently step that foot down, and just shake it out a little bit. We're gonna take it to the other side. So revisit Tadasana, spread the toes, plant the feet, lift the kneecaps, tighten through the core, shoulders down and back, lift the crown of the head to the ceiling. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Bend the right knee, open up the right knee to the side, so external rotation of this left hip, left side. And you can place the heel against the other leg or on a block. You can place that foot on the calf muscle. Just don't rest it on the knee. You don't want to put too much pressure on the knee. You can also place it on the inner thigh. Just find tree that feels comfortable to you. It's okay if you wobble and you fall out of it. Take that left knee, just push it back a little bit. Let's take our hands to heart center. Focus your gaze on something still, on something not moving. It's called your drishti. Your gaze, your focus is your drishti. And breathe, smooth breaths in and out. And gently move that knee back forward. Place the left foot down and just shake it out. All right. Let's take it seated. I'm just gonna move this down a smidge. All right, I'm gonna take a seat on your mat, comfortable seated position. So in Sukhasana. And I just start to stretch the lower body. Get my notes here. So let's try this. So with the left shin in front of us, so left knee and shin are about at a 90-degree angle, so not out too wide here. So the shin is in front of us, and from the hip out to the knee is more of a straight line. Placing the right heel on top of the left knee. So this can be pretty, you can even take your right knee and kind of interlace your fingers and grab that right knee and just gently see if you can fold it down. You can hold it if it's really, really tight. If it's not too tight, just let it go and see where you can go. This is fire log leg. So you can see one shin is stacked on top of the other. So not in a cross-legged position. And this is a pretty deep opener in the hip. So you should feel it in the right hip. Left shin is on the mat, and then you should feel a nice, pretty deep stretch in the right hip. And if this feels okay, if it feels good, we can deepen into this stretch. So excuse me, kitty. You can lean forward a little bit. Pet a kitty. And the more you fold over your legs, the deeper stretch this is going to be in the right hip. So this is doing the same thing that pigeon pose would do, except we're seated. And so just taking your fingertips, spider crawling them forward as much as you can go forward with, you don't want to feel pain here. You should feel a nice release in the right hip, but not to the point of pain. So just gently folding over and just take some smooth breaths in and out. And slowly walk those fingertips back up into a seated position. And just gently unfold your leg. And now we're going to place the right leg on the mat. So right shin down. Again, from the right hip out to the knee, this is more straight alignment. And taking the shin and the leg at about a 90-degree here. So she's a lover. And then taking the left foot on top of the right knee. So stacking those shins and legs on top of each other. So really it is alignment with the knee and the ankle, and then the ankle and the knee. So you can see how these are really stacked on top of each other. And if it's really, really tight, then just grab, you can interlace your fingers and hold this left knee and just see if you can gently start to move forward and rest that down. Tent your fingertips in front of you and just spider crawl those fingertips forward and feel a nice stretch in the left hip here. And just go wherever it feels good in your body. Again, you don't want to feel pain. You should just feel a nice release in the hip, nice opening in the hip. Just folding this forward as you can, as it feels good. Take smooth breaths in and out. Slow, intentional breaths. And gently spider crawl those fingers back up. And take your feet together. So soles of the feet meet together. And this can be pretty tight in the hips too. So this is a good place for blocks. If you want to put blocks underneath the knees to support the knees right here. So you would take, do I have my blocks? I don't have my blocks with me right now. So you take the blocks and just put them right underneath the legs and the knees right here, and it would lift those knees up a little bit. Or if your hips are open, let those knees just relax. So let's take butterfly. Just let the knees, and if it's tight, just be up here. And if it feels okay, let those knees rest and just bounce the knees up and down like butterfly wings. So flapping the knees like butterfly wings. So very spring, early summer inspired here. And this is really nice for opening up hips, legs here. And if it feels good, you can take your heels and scoot them in a little closer. And you can grab around the shins. You can grab around the ankles. You can interlace your fingers and grab around the toes. And we're just gonna gently, if that is too tight, she's in activated love mode here. If it's too tight to start to lean forward by grabbing the feet or the ankles, you can, excuse me, kitty. You can take your fingertips and tent your fingertips and just gently start to fold forward. Do try to keep integrity in the spine here. So we're not crouching over and then folding. Trying to keep like sit bones planted in the mat. Keep the spine straight. So envision the heart shining forward, sternum broadening. So not collapsing in the chest, but broadening through the sternum, opening up through the heart. The spine is straight, crown of the head, that little string is lifting the crown of the head up towards the ceiling, and then start to fold forward. So just very little bit with keeping the spine straight. And then if you can grab the toes or you can walk those fingertips forward, then you can pull yourself down a little bit and feel a nice stretch in the hips and the lower back. So this can be very subtle or it can be deep. So you can start here with the knees supported and just lean forward a little bit. See how that feels? Or you can go deeper by pulling on the feet or ankles. And if you can go deep, the elbows are gonna come outside of the shins here and pull yourself forward. So from the side, you can see, again, wanting to keep the back straight. So not curving like this, but keeping the spine straight. And then just tilting. So we're pivoting from the hips here. We're pivoting from the hips, not pulling and crunching. So if the spine can stay straight and it feels good in the hips and the body, then you can pull yourself forward. And take some smooth breaths in and out. And gently release and sit back up straight. You're gonna take, and we're gonna balance with this a little bit. So this is fun. Another very spring, early summer inspired fun yoga pose called flower pose. So you can even move the buttocks, the flesh underneath your sit bones, so you feel really planted. So your hip bones, your sit bones feel very planted into your mat, because we're gonna balance here. And keeping the spine straight. So again, not crunching in, but keeping that spine straight. And this can be tricky to do, so it could be ever so slight. You can also use a block here and put a block. If I had my block, you could put the block underneath your feet to kind of help and support. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our hands and slide the hands underneath the ankles and then balance on the sit bones. So this is kind of like boat pose, Navasana, So, and straightening through the spine. So heart is shining up towards the ceiling. The spine is straight, broadening through the sternum, using the core muscles. So using the core, the stomach, to balance. And breathe. You can even take your gaze slightly up towards the ceiling, lifting through the heart, lifting through the chest, reaching the crown of the head, stretching the neck. And then slowly release. Woo! All right. Now we're going to release that. That was a lot of balance and focus. Take the feet to the outer edge of the mat. Place your hands behind you to support yourself. And drop the right knee in towards the center. And just release those hips. So you can drop this all the way down. And then the left knee comes out to the side. Just feel a nice stretch, nice release. We're going to take it to the other side. So left knee comes in towards the center, and right knee moves all the way out to the right. And now we're going to move with our breath. So inhale up, exhale to the other side. Inhale up, exhale to the right. Inhale up, exhale to the left. So this is called windshield wiper knees. Go ahead and move with your own breath cycle, your own pace. So inhaling the knees up through the middle and exhaling to the right or to the other side. Move a couple times at your own pace. All right, and back to center. Let's see what time. Okay, let's do one more stretch here. So let's do, excuse me. All right. Let's gather our heels into close to our sit bones and gather your knees together into your chest. Wrap your arms around your knees. You can interlace your fingers or hug yourself. Just give yourself, collect your legs, your entire self into a little ball. You can squeeze your legs and let your head fall towards the center of your body. And just give yourself a squeezy love hug. Collect your whole entire self and squeeze yourself a love hug. Tell yourself something kind. Thank yourself for practicing yoga on your mat today. Just give yourself some gratitude. I'm very inspired by spring and early summer and all the growth and life. So just thank yourself for trying, and that's where growth comes from. Growth comes from repetition, practice, making mistakes, trying. So just give yourself some gratitude. And and release. All right, let's do one more stretch. So widen the legs to the outer edge of the mat. You can move to the side here so that the heels are on the mat. This can be very, very narrow too. So you can have your legs extremely narrow, you know, just however wide you can take your legs. I find that if I can put a heel on the yoga mat, then I can get a little more grip and get a wider stretch here. So wide-legged forward fold. So whatever width you can find. Again, we're gonna work with a straight back here. So not arching the back and then crunching in. We're gonna pivot from the hips here. We're gonna take our spider fingers, tent our fingertips on the earth. Just slowly with a straight spine, start to crawl those fingertips forward. And feel a deep stretch in the inner thighs here. So just slowly start to crawl the fingertips forward. Nice straight spine. And see where you can go. Definitely release in the hips as well. Like the more the outer hip. So just find a comfortable depth, whatever that might be. And just breathe. We hold a lot of tension in our hips. So just feel a nice release. And gently just spider crawl those fingers back up. We're going to take a side stretch here. So take the left hand, slide it under towards the right leg, so towards the right thigh, and then reach the right arm to the left toe. So palm facing down, reaching towards the left toe. So, and again, not folding this arm over, but keeping the arm in alignment with the side body, with the torso. Feeling a nice stretch in the ribs, the side body. You can take your gaze, your drishti up towards the ceiling. And breathe. And in this pose too, it is important to, you can see how my toes are pointing up. There's a tendency to collapse the feet forward and the legs forward. So keeping those toes pointing up, lifting the kneecap, and engaging the leg muscles. So these legs and feet are active here, and that's going to protect our knees and keep our legs engaged here. So we'll take it to the other side. Take that left hand, slide it towards, wait, I just did that side. We're going to do the other side. Take the right hand, slide it towards the left thigh, and then take the left fingertips, reach towards the right toes. So you can see that this arm is in alignment with the torso, so not folding over, and reaching towards those toes. So breathe into the left side body. And gently release. We're gonna just take a comfortable seat here. So Sukhasana, comfortable seated position. You can go ahead and close your eyes. Let your breath come smoothly and naturally. I need some water, excuse me. Place your left hand on your heart, your right hand on your belly. Just really connect to those spaces in your body. I invite you to use your imagination on your inhale. Imagine fresh air circulating around your heart space, filling your heart with fresh breath air, fresh air. And on your inhale into your belly, envision fresh air circulating around your belly, letting your belly rise. We're taking a 2-part breath. So we're gonna pause in between each space. So on the inhale, first part of the inhale, breathe into the heart, feel the sternum rise, the chest, upper chest expand. Envision fresh air circulating around the heart space, and then pause, and then breathe into the belly. Feel the belly rise and envision fresh air just circulating around the belly. Belly puffs up with fresh air. So this really helps activate all the parts of the lungs. So our lungs are pretty big, they're pretty expansive. So from the top lung, middle lung, all the way down, diaphragm area, lower part of the lung here. So just really breathing into all the parts of the lungs. So let's use your imagination. I like to, just think of like sparkling, fresh, white air, or sometimes it's green, and it's just swirling around those parts of your body, the heart and the belly. So such good areas to connect with. The heart, our love, our compassion. Our belly is our motivation, our go power, our confidence, our activity. So this is our heart chakra, and then our bellies are our solar chakra. And solar is, like think of sun and heat and power and energy, just lots of fire and energy. So really connecting to these spaces. So we'll take this 2-part breath. Close your eyes and just breathe half of your breath into your heart, and pause and breathe the second full breath. Belly rises. Deep breath into the belly and pause. And slowly exhale on the count of 4, 3, 2, and 1. Half inhale into the heart. Pause. Inhale into the belly. And pause. Slowly exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe into the heart. Upper chest rises, fills up with air. And pause. Breathe into the belly. Belly fills up with fresh oxygen, and pause. Slowly exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. And take this a few times at your own pace, your own breath cycle. So breathing into the heart, pausing, breathing into the stomach, and pause, and slowly count out 4 slow counts on your exhale. Just go ahead and release your hands, palms facing up, hands resting on top of your knees, palms up for cooling and receiving. Just let your breath come smoothly and naturally once again Take normal, smooth breaths. So that's a really good way to, if you're feeling out of your body, if you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, that's a really good way to connect to your body and your breath. So it's an embodiment practice, especially when you put your hands on those places and really use your imagination, really envision your breath and the power of the breath to put yourself in your present moment and connecting to yourself in present moment, not in the past and what we, you know, should have done or wanted to do, and not in the future of what we, you know, our to-do list and what we have to do. So that is that two-part breath, hand and belly, hand on heart and belly. Such a wonderful practice to just really put ourselves in the present moment and not live in the future or the past. And just focus on the breath. It is powerful. So on that note, go ahead and just lay down in Shavasana. So legs extended out forward and just lay all the way back on your mat. Hands out to your side. You can also support yourself here. Use a pillow. You can put a pillow under your knees to kind of prop up your knees and be comfy, and behind your head. Go ahead and make yourself comfortable. I'm going to read one of my favorite poems, and it's all about that two-part breath and why the breath is so important. So just go ahead and make yourself comfortable in your supine position, so in your laying position. And just let your legs be soft and heavy. Let your feet just melt into your mat. Let your sit bones, your hips just melt into your mat. Let the backs of your shoulder blades and your arms melt into your mat. Let your head be heavy like a bowling ball. And let your entire body have ease. I'm going to read one of my favorite poems all about breath and connection to the body. And so just rest in Shavasana and listen to these beautiful words. It's called The Anatomy of Peace. My brain and heart divorced a decade ago over who is to blame about how big of a mess I have become. Eventually, they couldn't be in the same room with each other. Now my head and heart share custody of me. I stay with my brain during the week, and my heart gets me on the weekends. They never speak to one another. Instead, they give me the same note to pass to each other every week. And their notes they send to one another always say the same thing. This is all your fault. On Sundays, my heart complains about how my head has let me down in the past. And on Wednesdays, my head lists all of the times my heart has screwed things up for me in the future. They blame each other for the state of my life. There's been a lot of yelling and crying. So, lately, I've been spending a lot of time with my gut, who serves as my unofficial therapist. Most nights, I sneak out of the window in my rib cage and slide down my spine and collapse on my gut's plush leather chair that's always open for me. And I just sit until the sun comes up. Last evening, my gut asked me if I was having a hard time being caught between my heart and my head. I nodded. I said I didn't know if I could live with either of them anymore. My heart is always sad about something that happened yesterday, while my head is always worried about something that may happen tomorrow. I lamented. My gut squeezed my hand. I just can't live with my mistakes of the past or my anxiety about the future. I sighed. My gut smiled and said, "In that case, you should go stay with your lungs for a while." I was confused. The look on my face gave it away. If you're exhausted about your heart's obsession with the fixed past and your mind's focus on the uncertain future, your lungs are the perfect place for you. There is no yesterday in your lungs, and there is no tomorrow either. There is only now. There is only inhale, and there is only exhale. There is only this moment. There is only breath. And in that breath, you can rest while your heart and your head work out their relationship. This morning, while my brain was busy reading tea leaves, and while my heart was staring at old photographs, I packed a little bag and I walked to the door of my lungs. Before I could even knock, she opened the door with a smile, and as a gust of air embraced me, she said, "What took you so long?" That's by John Rodell, and I just love that poem because the power of the breath is present, it is now, it is really the only thing that we can shape and mold and control is our present, what we do in the present. And our breath really helps connect us to these moments, these present moments, and put ourselves in present and with our body, getting out of the future and the past. So just lay in Shavasana. Feel the cool air enter your nostrils and the warm, soft air exit your nostrils. And just rest for a few moments in Shavasana. And gently wiggle your fingers and toes. Invite a little bit of movement to your body. You can rotate your wrists and your ankles. And gently curl over to one side and use your arm as a pillow. So just rest your head on your arm like a pillow. And take a breath in fetal position. And gently push yourself up to comfortable seated position, Sukhasana. And you can keep your eyes closed or soft and heavy. I will chant Om one time, universal sound. Good way to close class. The vibration is good for the brain, the throat chakra. The vibrations are very calming to the nervous system. And the universal sound of Om. So I'll prompt a deep inhalation, and then on exhale, chant Om. And you can join me or just listen. So deep breath in. Place your hands at heart center. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.